This is a very vast area, so I need to talk continuously without asking you some questions. Okay, some people are still talking. Please keep your systems mute. Mute your systems, please. Okay. Now we were talking about vocational education. Vocational education means education which is related to vocation that can be clubbed, that can be plugged and clubbed along with formal education. Any education that leads to employment can be called vocational education. Like that. So, vocational education had got a lot of importance in the beginning, but again it was faded. Now we have realized the importance of reintroducing and merging vocational education at lower level of education itself, at a very early context. We can say that catch them young. Catch them young means when the children are young, say 6th or 7th or 8th or 9th, from there itself only, the skills have to be enshrined. So you can see this slide. The policy aims to overcome the social status hierarchy associated with VE and integrate VE means vocational education into mainstream education in all education institutions in a phased manner. Earlier, we used to have what is even today, it is their ITI, Industrial Training Institutes. And there was a normal refrain that the common saying was, those students who are not good at content will go to ITI and they become low profile or high profile skill employees. Now that the same concept has been given a lot of focus in NEP, now it has become a mainstream topic to introduce skills right from lower secondary education. So beginning with vocational exposure at early ages in middle and secondary school, quality value education will be integrated smoothly into school and higher education. So informally or at a low, with less scope, it is introduced at lower primary level or primary or middle level. And gradually, it will be a integral part of higher education. Every child will learn at least one vocation. Look at this. And is exposed to several more as he moves through the education ladder. This would lead to emphasizing the dignity of labor and importance of various vocations involving Indian arts and artisanship. So some of the vocations were ignored and people used to look down upon those students or those people who are good with, say, art, paint, something like that. By 2025, at least 50% of learners, now 2025 is right now going on, through this school and higher education system, shall have exposure to vocational education. Now, still it is not 50%, it is still low. So NEP, value education, vocational education, all these things I have told you. Vocational education will be integrated in the educational offerings of all the secondary schools in a phased manner over the next decades. So by the year 2030-35, almost all schools will have vocational education appropriately integrated into, say, regular conventional curriculum. The development of vocational capacities will go hand in hand with the development of academic or other capacities. So in addition to academic abilities, when vocational skills will be trained. To achieve this objective, secondary schools will have to collaborate with industrial training institutes. So this is the only possibility where all our secondary schools will have a tie-up, will have MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, or tie-up with the locally existing ITI institutes. Again, in ITI institutes, there are two types, government and even para-government ITIs are there and private education institutions are there. Polytechnic institutions are there and even local industrial organizations are there. So, every school should have an MOU with these things. Skill laboratories will also be set up and created in all the schools in a hub and spoke model. Hub and spoke model means, you see, there will be a main center which will have an association with around 10 locally existing community schools. They all work together, which will allow other schools to use the facility. That means there will be one center, resource center, wherein human resources as well as training materials are present, and all the communities can utilize these facilities. So higher education institutions will offer vocational education either on their own or in partnership with industry and other institutions. So autonomous method or autonomous way, or even in association with other existing institutions. So like that, focused areas for vocational education will be chosen based on skill gap. There is something called skill gap analysis. It may vary from one community to another community, and mapping of local opportunities. So all these things will be done in the form of survey. So MHRD, okay, it is renamed as Ministry of Education, of course, will constitute a national committee for the integration of vocational education. Now, in the first session, I have told about NCIVE, consisting of experts in vocational education and representatives from across ministries in collaboration with industry to oversee the effort. So all these things are going on by NCIVE right now. Different models of vocational education are being formulated, developed. Apprenticeship is also going on. You know, in all the sectors, apprenticeship is there. So any student who comes out of graduation or universities will have to undergo apprenticeship. Say, for example, a BCom graduate will find some of the banks, whether private banks or locally available cooperative banks or nationalized banks, which will offer them some jobs of 1 year, 2 years, wherein for a salary of 20,000, 30,000, they will work. They'll gain all the, say, awareness and attitude, and even they have mastery of the skills. And the same banks will conduct some examinations, and through which, if they clear the exams, they will appoint them as the permanent employees. So like that, apprenticeship is also going on. So we'll move on to the next thing. The National Skills Qualification Framework, NSQF. It's a framework which gives details on what skills are necessary in a particular vocation or a profession and how the skills can be enhanced. So that is also working as a part of NEP. Indian standards will be aligned with the international standards, classification of occupations maintained by the ILO. So International Labour Organization has set certain minimum level of skills. So that standard has to be met in Indian context. So this framework will provide the basis for recognition of prior learning. Through this, dropouts from the formal system will be reintegrated by aligning their practical experiences with the relevant level of the framework. Look at this beautiful point. So because of some reasons, students may develop some stagnation. So they are stagnated means they have stopped their education at a particular level. Still they are continuing at the same level. Dropout means they are incomplete. They have not continued their education. So incomplete education is there. Say, for example, at 8th standard, he will leave, he will quit the schooling, or at second PO. If a student has failed in second PO exam, he will quit. So dropout means they are dropped out of the system. So all those students who are drop out or stagnated can also be reintroduced to the system. Now this is an added advantage. And this is, of course, a credit-based framework where credit points are always added. So academic grade points, something like that. So credit bank will be there, and all those students who accumulate the minimum level of credits will be given certificate, something like that. So NEP 2020 heralds the potentially explosive growth of vocational education in the country, since it requires all education institutions to integrate VE into their offerings. So that is taken care even by vocational education and training institutes, which are there across the country. So, there are 3 main types of skill development. I have already told you something about the different types of skills. Now, 3 main types of skill development. Skill development always leads to economic development. There is no doubt about it. Today, if any country like South Korea or Japan or US or Germany or Belgium, they're all forward. France, they're all forward countries because mainly the curriculum is embedded with a lot of skills, especially industry-based skills. So these skills or skill development reduces unemployment and underemployment. I think you know the difference between unemployment and underemployment. Anybody can tell me this? What is the main difference between unemployment and underemployment? Anybody? So unemployment means no employment for them.
Sir, unemployment is not working, and underemployment is the person with the ability is not working.
No.
Who has the ability, but is not.
You are quite right, my dear friend. Unemployment means there is a graduate, but he has no job. Right? That is called unemployment. Underemployment means a person is there with MSc, for example, but he works for a primary school. For a primary school, a B.Ed graduate would have been enough. But this fellow, in addition to B.Ed, he has done his PG and he is eligible to teach at higher level of education. But right now, because of unemployment problem, he has been employed in a primary school in a village for a lesser salary. This is called underemployment. Now, for example, these days underemployment is a natural phenomenon. It is quite usually seen. My own students who have done their PGs, they work in a police station as a police constable. I have seen that. So that is
it could be non-skilled, sir. Underemployment is basically non-skilled.
Yeah, they are non-skilled, of course. Yes, madam. Sandhya, madam. Non-skilled. Increases productivity. Skill development enhances productivity and improves the standard of living. The quality of life has to be enhanced. Otherwise, no use. Education should be always related to employment. And employment should be related to enhancing the quality standards of life. Then only the human life becomes successful. So 3 main types of skill development can be seen. You know all these things, but the terms may be a little different for you. Upskilling, cross-skilling, and reskilling. Better you know all these things because you may be given some test at the end of this. There may be a question on this issue also. Upskilling means improving skills in the current role. See, I am a teacher working in a school. Now, I am good at teaching. Now, I'll undergo a course called MS Office course for about a week or 15 days. I learn all the skills related to handling of computers. Now, see, I used to draw charts using my hands. Now, I can show PowerPoint presentation slides. So, profession is the same, but the skill of teaching has been improved or upgraded from drawing diagram on the board to drawing a chart and using a chart as a learning aid in the class. Now, with the intervention of computer related skills, now I am in a position to develop PowerPoint slides and use them. Again, after 1 month, I learn how to animate PowerPoint slides. So I use videos like that. So every now and then, I am moving on to the next level of my skills. Now, this is called upskilling. I'm coming up with latest skills. I'm updated with skills in the same field. Then cross-skilling, learning new skills for the current role. Say, for example, I am a teacher working in a school. Now I undergo 1 week certification program on counseling. So I learn counseling skills. So I have acquired new skills of counseling. Along with the teaching, now I have become a counselor to help my students to solve their problems on their own. I'm helping them, I'm guiding them. So additionally, I have acquired a skill to improve my professional competency, playing the same role as a teacher. I hope you can understand this example. Then reskilling means learning new skills to move to a new role. You say you can take the same example. I was a teacher, now I have become a counselor. Later, I can become an administrator. I have worked for about 10 years in a private school. As a teacher, I became the floor head. I became the head of the department. Now, the management is very happy about my skills. They are offering me the post of a principal. So I have to lead the school. Okay, and taking that school into the next level. For that, along with the teaching skills, I learn managerial skills or leadership qualities. So I'm learning new skills to move to a new role. From being a teacher, now I have become the head of the institution or the head of the school. Like that. So these are the three types of skill development. One is upskilling, improving skills in the current role. Cross-skilling, learning new skills for the current role so that I can be more professionally standardized. Then reskilling means I'm learning new skills so that I'm shifting from one role to another. See, most of the people who have retired as teachers or professors in universities, they are assigned some administrative jobs in different parts of the community. They can become the academic advisors, directors, deans of academics, or course coordinators, something like that. So for that, they need to undergo some training, learn some skills. Now that is called reskilling. I hope all of you could understand with these examples. There is one more role played by national government. Most of you must be aware of PMKVY project, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. It's a wonderful scheme. Some of you must be knowing about it. Now, even then, I would like to share some of the facts and figures related to that. There need not be any explanation on these things. I just read the slide so that it becomes easy for you to understand this. There's nothing to explain. The flagship scheme of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, this is called MSDE. Flagship scheme means it's a beautiful scheme. Revolutionized the entire job sector. Quality scheme, or it is a scheme which enhances the standard or the skill of a particular sector. So that is why it is called flagship, which has all the positive qualities or something like that. So the flagship scheme of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, so MSD, is implemented by, this is what? PMKVY, implemented by National Skill Development Corporation, NSDC. It is a skill development initiative scheme of the Government of India for recognition and standardization of skills. So identification of skills and refinement of skills. It was launched on 16th July 2015, almost 10 years. Not 8 years, it is. Please have a correction here. 10 years ago in New Delhi. The scheme offers cost-free industry-related skill training to unemployed youth and school or college dropouts to make them fit for leading a quality life or employment. Look at the beauty of this scheme. And there are millions of people, lakhs of students who are taking the advantage of this. I can give you statistics in the next slides. So this scheme offers free courses about industry-related skills. Say, for example, I would like to learn carpentry. Yes. I would like to learn repairing of mobiles or telephones, whatever it is. So that can be used. Bakery, for example, I would like to have the baking skills. I would like to have a bakery in my village, but I don't have the baking skills. So baking skills can be taught. Like that. I am new to real estate field. I should know how skillfully I need to communicate, negotiate. So for that, there is a skill development program. Like that, this scheme offers cost-free industry-related skills training to unemployed youth. Totally they are unemployed. Or students who are out of education system, either at school level or at college level. They are called dropouts. So that they again become educated, trained, so that they can build their life. The scheme offers valid certification and Skill India card. Look at this. Of course, the course is free, but they need to take up the exam. Practical examinations are there. They will undergo tough testing situations so that their courses are certified and they are issued cards called Skill India card. Only with these two, they will be eligible to get into any registered industries in the sectors, or in organized sectors especially. So look at this, beautiful. The scheme offers valid certification and a Skill India card on the basis of which the candidates can apply for jobs and earn a livelihood. The objective of this skill certification scheme is to enable Indian youth to take up industry relevant skill training that will help them in securing a better livelihood with a good standard of life. Individuals with prior experience are also assessed. Of course, I have got some experience, fundamental pre-existing skills I have to some extent. So I am also assessed and I am helped by this scheme to upgrade my skills. So they are assessed and certified under recognition of prior learning. That is called RPL, recognition of prior learning. So that certificate is also given. Look at this. So till December 2023, I'm sorry that I could not give you updated information because still it is under statistical considerations there. Till December 2023, look at this. Under this PMKVY Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, look at the enrolled candidates. So 14 crores, 52 lakhs, 65,716. So 14 crores. Look at that. Then how many of them are trained? 1 crore, 37 lakhs, 24,226. So out of 14 crores, only 1.25 crores or 1.5 crores are trained. Look at the amount of work that is there on the government. 14 crores, but we are successfully, we have done only for 1 crore 37 lakhs plus. Assessed candidates out of those 1 crore 37, 1 crore 24 lakhs. So they are assessed. Others might have left the system because of some reasons. And again, out of those 1 crore 24 lakhs or 25 lakhs, around 1 lakh 11,000 or 1 crore 11 lakh students are certified. Then placement, 24 lakhs 51,517. So from 14 crores to 24 lakhs, you can just have 14 crores enrolled and 25 lakhs of students are placed. Now, these are the statistical figures till 2023. Now we are into end of 2025, mid of 2025. So in these 1.5 years or 2 years, still improvement can be seen. Then the scheme has 3 components. Any scheme which is done by this PMYP, short-term training is there, STT of 1 week, then 1 month or 6 months, something like that. Then the recognition of prior learning. I have told you what is RPL. So we might be having already some skills in us. So even we undergo testing. For example, I go to a testing center saying that I know mobile repairing or I know driving. I can start a driving school. So for that, again, I am tested. So that is called recognition of prior learning. So after testing, and if they come to know that I have got all the skills necessary to start a driving school, they will give a certificate saying that already the skills are there. So this is called recognition of prior learning. Then special projects are also taken care. So short-term training, all explanation is there. I can only read it, self-explanatory. So short-term training is given at PMKVY training centers to benefit Indian youth who are either school or college dropouts or unemployed. So there are training centers at regional level or district level. There the students are enrolled and given. Now why I am telling you all these things? I need not to lay a lot of importance on these issues. But what is the central government doing on these things, which are ultimately reflected in NEP 2020? Apart from providing training according to the National Skill Qualification Framework, so skill NSQF has set a standard, and skills are what? Developed, keeping that standard only in view. So training centers also impart training in soft skills. You can ask me a question, what are soft skills and what are hard skills? Normally, soft skills are the competencies of the mind. They use brain more than the muscles. Okay. And these soft skills are very, very important. Without soft skills, hard skills cannot be acquired. So basically, hard skills are employed or applied using soft skills. Say, for example, without having the decision-making skills, I can't make a career choice. Okay. And without communication skills, I can't get into a teacher's post. And I can't go on teaching. So go on teaching is a hard skill, for example. That is basically depending on soft skill called communication skill, negotiation skill, interpersonal relationship development skill, empathy. A teacher needs to have an empathy to teach. For example, I am sharing a lot of information theoretically, the two after lunch from 2 to 5 without having any kind of games, plays, examples, or stories, or songs. So without any kind of these kind of learning, say, aids, just by using lecture method, laboriously I am teaching or I am sharing this. So I don't have empathy on you. So to teach well continuously for 3 hours, that is a hard skill because it requires physical abilities to stand and teach and shout in the class or speak continuously for 3 hours. I need to have other skills related to that. Say, for example, understanding oneself, understanding all my students, being empathetic, reducing their stress. So something like that. So all soft skills are very much required. So TCs also impart training in soft skills, entrepreneurship skills, and financial assistance, and even digital literacy. So financial literacy, digital literacy, they're all very, very important. So these things are also being taught. Remember, soft skills are nothing but the mental dispositions at required times in the best of the way so that the problem can be solved. And the very word soft skill or the life skills are coined by WHO in the year 1971. So 55 years ago, these soft skills or life skills became more important, keeping in view the Indian youth. Okay, so that the Indian society in the future becomes disease-free society, stable society, and the Indian youths should be having very good, healthy, reproductive life. That was the main aim of WHO. Then onwards, soft skills became very, very important, and they gained prior importance in Indian education system. Now, soft skill training is a very important thing. So without soft skills, all your graduation or certificates, gold medal, they are of no use to you. So upon successful completion of assessment, candidates are provided placement assistance by training providers. Even placement services are also given. Component 2, I have already discussed about recognition of prior learning. I don't know whether it is again to be discussed with you. Then component 3, special projects. What special projects can be taken up? So creation of that will facilitate training in special areas, and premises of government bodies, and the NGOs are there, government bodies are there, corporate industries are there. So we will recognize them and we will give MOU or whatever it is, along with their coordination and cooperation. Then special projects deviate from STT guidelines. Okay. So even special projects, say so many examples can be given on that. See, for the development of life skills only, special projects are being organized. Programs are organized, trainings are organized, like that. Then, like that it is going on. Life skills, the abilities for adaptive and positive behavior. What is adaptive? Suddenly something happens in life. For example, a father meets with an accident and he is no more. And now the quality of life comes down. So how to accept that? Accepting a challenge is very important. After accepting it, adopting our abilities to overcome the problem is much more important. So accepting a situation and adapting oneself with a positive behavior so that the problem can be solved as early as possible, we need to have certain basic psychological competencies. Now, these psychological competencies are nothing but soft skills. And almost all the soft skills are life skills. So remember, these are the abilities, especially intellectual abilities, of a man to solve any problems in life, and problem can be solved only when we accept it. Yes, this is quite natural. I have to solve the problem. Accept the situation. Suddenly father is no more. Suddenly husband is no more. Suddenly something happened in life. You are traveling and suddenly in the middle of the forest, the vehicle gives a problem. The vehicle is broken down. In a sense, breakdown is there. It stopped. So what do you do? So what decision you take? So it is the ability of a man to understand the situation of a problem, accept it as a problem that I need to solve, then you adopt yourself. You use your abilities of the mind to solve that problem. And these abilities are called the psychological competencies. And these psychological competencies are nothing but life skills. There are so many life skills. Anybody can tell me some examples of life skills? Sandhya madam? Kiran? Anybody? Can you give some examples of life skills? Am I audible?
Sir, problem
Yes, sir,
solving.
you're audible.
Very good. Problem solving is a life skill. Good. Then
Yeah, and ability to
Communication, sir.
adapt every day,
communication
sir.
skills. Good.
Yeah, ability to adapt for every situation.
Excellent. Adaptive abilities. That means
Yes.
adjustment. Okay. Then
Yeah.
Leadership
Decision making,
skills,
sir.
critical thinking.
leadership skills.
Neetu Ghosh madam. Leadership skills.
Yes.
Very good.
Decision making,
Understanding
sir.
oneself. I should know about myself. That itself is a life skill. I should know
Self-awareness.
what I am good at.
Yeah.
What are my limitations? My strengths, my limitations. Then
Sir,
challenges that I have in my life.
Interpersonal skills,
Yeah,
intrapersonal
interpersonal
communication,
skills.
interpersonal
Intrapersonal
communication.
skills.
Sorry,
Yes, very good.
interpersonal communication.
Interpersonal communication.
And developing
Intrapersonal also.
healthy
That is nothing
relations,
but
sir.
I should be able to communicate with myself. That is also
Yes.
one of them. Then
Developing healthy relationship with other people.
excellent, excellent. Good, good. So that is called managing of human relationship.
Yes,
Then
yes.
empathy, then critical thinking, creative thinking, time management, communication skills, then understanding others,
Problem solving, sir.
then event management, problem solving, taking right
Coping
decisions,
with emotions and stress, sir.
stress management.
Sir,
Okay.
development of self-esteem.
Very good. Development and balancing of self-esteem. Not only
Yes.
developing, balancing it. If you have more and more self-esteem, that would again become negative. Okay. So with the correct knowledge of self-analysis, we need to have our self-esteem.
And healthy well-being, sir.
Healthy wellness, healthy well-being,
Yeah.
being well. Okay, how to lead a good quality life within our limits and limitations. That is also very important. Very good. I'm really sorry that I could not ask you more questions because topic is like that. Fine. So life skills are the abilities for adaptive and positive behavior that enables individuals to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of the everyday life. The importance of LSE, I need not tell you all these things, just I read. It supports students' holistic development in many ways, helps students to identify their individual strengths and weaknesses. Now, these days, the word weakness is being diminished, getting faded away. It is called limitations. There is no weakness as such. There is a limitation. There is no problem. See, there is something called SWOT analysis. Strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So there is no threat as such. There can be challenges. Now, Now, though these days it is replaced as SLOC analysis, SLOC. SWOT has been replaced by SLOC, SLOC. Strength, L stands for limitations, O as usual opportunities, and instead of threat we have challenges. So builds the capacity to apply their gained knowledge to real life situation. See, the most importantly, we teach students in the class without making it relevant to life. That is the problem. Where exactly we fail means we are unable to relate whatever we teach, whatever we share to life. How today's knowledge can be applied by you to your life in certain situations. So if that link is not given, then it is of no use. You have not taught students. So knowledge without application of it is not knowledge. Money which is not spent is not money. It is not currency. It is only pieces of paper or pieces of metals. So earning is important, but more than earning, how you spend it is much more important. Gaining knowledge can be everybody's cup of tea. Gaining knowledge is not important. See, I study in a university and get a gold medal having a first rank. What is the use? If you are not using that knowledge to solve your problems, and if you are not applying that to solve the problems of your community and others, it is of no use. It is no more a knowledge. So please understand that whatever you teach in your class, help students to analyze that and ask them in what way today's class is important for you. What is that you have learned today that can be of use to you in your life? Or how do you apply that so that you can be employed or you can solve the problems? So without relating knowledge of the classroom teaching and learning to solve the problems of life or in society, it is not good. So helping students to identify their individual strengths and weaknesses and also applying the same thing to solve their problems is very, very important. Now there is something called 5E model in teaching of students at secondary level. You know about it? 5E. I think most of you are working in degree colleges or first grade colleges. You must be knowing about constructivistic approach. Anybody knows anything about?
Yes, sir. 5E model. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Very good. What is it?
Engage, explore, explain.
Yes.
Engage, explore, explain, elaborate,
Yes.
and
Evaluate.
evaluate.
Very
Yes.
good. I'm very happy about all of you. I'm very happy. Thank you for being my, my participants to this session. Excellent. Now, constructivistic approach means I just take 2 or 3 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm not deviating. It is all related to this session only. NCF 2005 means National Curriculum Framework 2005. The national government took a very bold decision to understand that the classroom situations or classroom teaching in Indian scenario is not good. So most of the students, irrespective of level of education, they are made by the teachers passive recipients of information in the class. Like how I am teaching you. You're all simply keeping quiet, listening to me, taking some points. You're all passive recipients of my information or my knowledge, whatever it is. And now and then only I'm asking you some questions. So students were made sit quiet in a class, understand everything, take down the notes, read it or recall it and prepare for the exam. So that was not good. And many students were not given chances to use their minds and brains. So passive recipients of information, that is very bad. So NCF strongly proposes to make the students active producers of new knowledge. Look, there should be a shift from students being passive recipients of information. So just listening to the lecture or listening to the lesson, take down some points, make a note and by heart it and prepare well for the exam and write it and gain scores. And that is students being passive recipients of information. So there should be a shift from this state to students being active producers of new knowledge. So they should be the constructors of their own knowledge. Now this is called constructivistic approach. So NCF 2005 strongly recommends constructivistic approach, and 5E model of teaching is an offshoot of that. It's the product of that. What is that? Every student is able to produce his or her own knowledge. For that, we need to become facilitators rather than just being teachers. In this context, let me tell you, dear friends, a teacher is no more a teacher, rather he is a facilitator. What is the differential role here? A teacher's job is to create some situations, ask some questions, plan some learning environment wherein students are exposed to that. They use their minds, come out with their decisions, with their points or ideas, and that is what self-learning is under the supervision of a teacher in the class. So you are not giving them information, you are not transferring knowledge to them, rather you are making the students learn through experience and come out with what you wanted to tell them. That is what self-learning. That is what constructivistic approach. So 5E model of teaching at secondary level, you ask your own children at home or grandchildren, whoever it is, they'll tell you about it if they are learning in some good schools. 5 E's stands for E, engage. First E is engage. Second E is explore. Third E is explain. Fourth E is elaborate, extend. Elaborate or extend. Now that E is the content which we are now discussing about. And fifth E stands for evaluation. Make the students engaged physically and mentally through your creative learning experiences. That is called engage. Make them explore. Let them try to know what has been given as a part of learning experience. What is that the teacher wants to know from us? Then ask them to explain what they have explored. Then explain them how you use this in life. That is called elaboration. The fourth E is elaboration or extension. Means what? You are extending your knowledge or skills or attitude gained in the classroom to the external world, that is the society. So extension means elaborating the knowledge gained in the class to your life, extending that to solve. So that fourth E is this point. What is that? Builds the capacity to apply their gained knowledge to real life situations. Say, for example, a student has been taught 4 basic mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. If the student doesn't apply these 4 basic mathematical operations, when he goes for shopping or buys something, it is of no use. So like that, a student should be able to apply. Then look at this. If you take up life skill education, now we are moving from vocational education to life skill education. Global core life skills. Global core life skills which are authentically proposed by World Health Organization right from the year 1971. Now that is a rational, that is a wonderful revolutionary change in Indian society. When we came to know that our Indian students are not very good and lot of illegal activities were going on in the society, women became the victims of this, something unwanted cultural patterns, rituals, and students were not knowing what mistakes they are committing, where are they taking themselves up, and there were hundreds of students committing suicide because of some problems, because of lack of some life skills. So then WHO came into this particular intervention scenario, and it strongly proposed the integration of life skill education, like vocational education, with the already existing curriculum, so that all our students will learn these life skills and take good decision, become wise, and they are more mature. They can handle their life. So from then onwards, the tragedies have decreased in their number. Say, simple example, a girl becoming pregnant, unwanted pregnancy or premarital pregnancy, or being misled by other youth. Okay, a student not having some skills which are very important. Say, for example, skill of assertion. Assertive skills are very important for a girl. Say, for example, anybody, not necessarily girl. We should be able to say no when we are supposed to say no. For example, a boy will offer a chance to a girl. Come on, let us bunk the class. We'll go to a movie and enjoy. So immediately, girl should be knowing to say no. I can't come. Though the boy is very close to her, they are the best friends. She should be able to say no. We have come here to learn, and without my parents' permission, I can't come. So like that, when you are supposed to say no, you should say no. When you are supposed to say yes, we should say yes. So sticking on to your opinion firmly, resilience, okay, that is called assertiveness. Like that, there are so many skills which are necessary for youth. So WHO recognized the need of life skills during 1960s and 70s and came out with the concept of life skills. It actually coined the term life skills. It only gave the definition which before some 3 or 4 slides we discussed about it now. So interpersonal and intrapersonal skills are there. 3 categories we can see as you are seeing on the screen: thinking skills, personal skills, and interpersonal skills. So there are 4 thinking skills related to thinking. Means brain, of course. Creative thinking in a different way, being totally different, unique. So that is called creativity. Being creative means doing the same thing in a different way, or altogether doing a different thing. Then critical thinking, what is right, what is wrong. Vimarshatmak chintan. Okay, Vimarshatmaka Chintan. Creative thinking, Srijanashil Chintan. Creative thinking, Srijana, what is that? Vimarshatmak. Vimarshatmak means man. So this is what is right, what is wrong. Can I do this? What are the negative things? What are the positive things? Critically analyzing. Then problem solving, inductive and deductive, of course. Solving a problem using our mind. Then taking right decisions at right time. That is what decision making skills means. Decision making and decision taking. These are the 2 phases. If you take right decision at wrong time, no use. I want to marry somebody. No, I'm taking this decision after 45 or 50 years. May not be good. I want to marry, taking this decision before being sexually mature. Say, for example, 10 years or 15 years. I want to marry a girl before I become employed. So that is a wrong decision. Our decision may be right, but the time is not right. So taking right decision at wrong time or wrong decisions at right time, both are not good. So decision making and decision taking means taking right decisions at right time so that the quality improves. Now, many a times, right decisions taken at right time sometimes become wrong in the course of time. That is, of course, we can't help it. Say, for example, I wanted to become a teacher. That is a good decision that I have taken at right time. So I did B.Ed or MA or whatever it is. But gradually I could understand that this field is not good for me. A lot of problems are there in this field. So I should have done my IAS, I think, like that in the after stages. Okay, then sometimes it is not good. So sometimes because of fate or whatever it is, right decisions may turn out to be wrong decisions. Then personal skills related to personal management are about myself. Self-awareness. I told you, my strengths, my limitations, my opportunities to overcome these problems. Then my problems or threats that I may, challenges that I may come across. Self-management, managing myself. Managing myself means how to manage my thinking, how to manage my body. There was somebody asking, who is your best friend? My body is my best friend. Who is your life partner? Not my husband, not my wife, not my children, not my close friend. My life partner is my body, myself and my body. So I should always take care of my body. Madam was telling wellness, well-being. So that is very important. So managing my behavior, managing my knowledge, managing my thinking, managing my skills, managing my personality. Okay, all these things come under self-management. Coping with stress. I'm deeply stressed. So how to cope my stress? Otherwise, I may have to getting into the clutches of depression, then suicidal tendencies. Basically, I'm a psychotherapist. In Mysore, I'm doing this. Okay. So many students keep coming to me with stress of examination. Even employees like the teachers will come to me. Teacher counseling is always there. Then people say, oh, everybody will have a stress. In fact, stress is actually required. It is positive. If it is not used properly, naturally it becomes negative. So stress is for, remember, upgrading the quality of life, but it should be carefully handled, consciously handled to improve our what? Life problem solving abilities. So that is what stress is. So as you see, many people think that stress is always negative. No, stress is usually positive. It all depends on how you handle it. Coping with emotions. So balancing of our emotions is very important. See, 1 minute of negative thinking would cost the entire life. See, most of the cases which I am taking up here for my counseling and guidance programs, I am seeing that especially during adolescent stage, say from 8th to 8th standard high school, then PU, degree and even PG, there are many students who are having a lot of problems related to emotions. So they don't have right thinking abilities. Then interpersonal, how I should be with others. So effective communication. Many a times being an expert of communication, even I don't say that I am having a lot of expertise, I have miscommunicated. Many people are not happy the way I have communicated certain ideas to them. My intention was good, but the words which I used was not good. The context was not good. The way in which I proposed my ideas was not effective. The media which I used was not good. The way I made the student understand in a different way was not correct. So all these things are related to communication problems. Many times there will be a conflict between how I said and how my student understood. What I said and what was communicated. Remember, what I said and what was I communicated. So there will be a mismatch. So communication is a very sensitive skill. And we always are landed up with some problems because of communication issues. Cooperation, how I need to cooperate with others. Coordination, how I need to coordinate with others. Empathy. Say, I believe that no person can help other person without empathy. Sympathy is different and empathy is different. Empathy is trying to understand the situation of a person by being in his position. See, continuously, if I go on talking like this from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, it is of no use. I should be one among you. If I am on the other side of the table, if I am listening to somebody who is speaking like this, what is my problem? So I should be able to understand your problems, thinking that I am also a participant of this particular NEP program. I can understand how should be my resource person of the session. Then if I understand that, I can plan my session very well. A mother is a very good empathizer because she knows what the child wants. So being empathetic is very, very important. Otherwise, you cannot be successful. Then as somebody said, one madam was telling interpersonal relationship. So development of a relationship is easy, but sustenance of relationship is quite difficult. That is why we see many people always quarrel either mentally or physically, though they are working, though they are colleagues. Hardly I come across institutions where interpersonal relationship is very, very good. Now, why this is going on? Being teachers, we hate our own colleagues. So that should never happen. So interpersonal relationship is a key skill to make a student or to make a person to have a quality life. So as per WHO, the global core skills which are very important under 3 categories are this. Now, measures to promote skill-based education. I have already spoken about the related issues. And, I have already discussed about vocational education, internship and apprenticeship. What is internship and apprenticeship? Are they different or are they the same? Anybody? Internship and apprenticeship. So one simple example I'll give you. A student is pursuing commerce education, is a BCom student. In the 3rd year, that is in the 6th year, okay, he will take up a small work of 1 month or 2 months. He will work for an industry or a company or a bank for about 2 months to get training, to apply what all he has learnt during these 5 semesters. He will apply that for about 2 months or 3 months in a bank, while he is still pursuing his BCom education in a college. So during the course only he is doing that as a part of curriculum. As a mandatory course requirement, he is doing that. Apprenticeship means after completing the education, he works for a bank for a higher salary. During internship, there may be salary or there may not be salary. But in apprenticeship, they will earn salary. Of course, the salary may be less for a period of 1 year or 2 years. Then they may be given chance to become permanent employees for a better, higher salary. So, internship is during the course, whereas apprenticeship is after the course. Then third one is project-based learning, technology integration into the curriculum. Then entrepreneurship education. Say, for example, if you are doing your B.Ed in a teacher education college, so there are 4 semesters. In the 4th semester, the students are allowed to go to different schools to learn how to teach or to apply the principles of teaching that they have earned or learned during first 3 semesters. So they'll go to a school for about 2 months, teach there, experiment all the things. They come back to the B.Ed college, then they take up the exam and they got now B.Ed degree. After B.Ed degree, they can be allowed to teach in a school for a lesser salary, that is called apprenticeship. Then entrepreneurship education means in that B.Ed college, 1 or 2 months of entrepreneurship education can be given. Like after doing B.Ed, what all the different streams that you can take up? You can go for M.Ed, or you can become a teacher in a government school, becoming a teacher in a private aided school, private unaided school, or you can continue your education, pursue some courses. You can be elevated to PU education or degree, first grade colleges as assistant professors. Or what are the chances for B.Ed graduates to work for NGOs? Or can you really start a school of your own? Can you establish a university of your own? Now, these days you are saying that there are plenty of private universities in our society and all beautifully structured with very good quality of education, they are coming up. Okay, along with in par with the UGC based or UGC approved universities, right? So, as a matter of entrepreneurship, I am giving additional guidance and skills which are necessary to make the student an entrepreneur. So he has done his B.Ed and M.Ed not to become a teacher or not only to become a teacher, along with that he would like to start an educational institution of his own so that he can offer education. He can offer job opportunities for some other B.Ed graduates like him only. So that is called entrepreneurship education, giving education related to startups or skill-based industries. Vocational education we have seen, internship and apprenticeship we have seen, project-based learning means Any learning which is based on some projects done in collaboration with the industries, technology integration, this is a very common thing. Entrepreneurship, just now we heard. Okay. Then government efforts for skill enhancement development, all these things we have already discussed. You can see National Skill Development Agency, National Skill Development Corporation, NSDC, then Directorate of General and Training, General Training and Directorate General of Training, DGT. So at state level, states are also encouraged to create state skill development mission. At national level, it is NSDM. At state level, it is SSDM, along with the lines of National Mission for Skill Development. No, all these points we have already discussed. Then even in, see, as a matter of fact, to implement all these strategies, CBSE school initiatives can be seen very directly these days. I think your children may be learning in CBSE schools. You must be knowing about these things. The CBSE board in India is critical in creating the school system and supporting students' complete development. So most of the CBSE, almost all the CBSE schools will have training centers like this. In recent years, there has been an increasing acknowledgement of the importance of skill development as well as traditional academics. So to satisfy this demand, CBSE schools have launched several projects. So what are these projects? You can see introduction of skill course. I need not explain. You can see, of course, I can read it out. You can go to the second paragraph. Okay, first paragraph itself. The schools affiliated to CBSE are not required to pay any fee or initiating the skill module or the subject at any level. CBSE schools are given permission to start their entrepreneurship education, to start their own laboratories, or to have their MOU with locally existing industrial organization or industrial sectors. To start their So in CBSE schools, a skill subject may be offered as additional sixth subject along with the existing 5 compulsory subjects. You know, some core subjects are there, language courses are there. Along with the 5 existing subjects, a CBSE school can add another subject which is totally skill-based, skill-oriented. Okay, if any student fails in any one of the 3 elective subjects like science, mathematics and social science, then it will be replaced by the skill subject which he has offered as a 6th subject, and results of class 10th will be computed based on best 5 subjects. Look at this support. For example, a student has failed in mathematics. He has scored less marks, but he has scored more marks in the 6th subject, that is a skill subject. So keeping that in view, the student is promoted to the next level. Okay, like that. Then skill-based subjects and vocational courses, what are they giving in different schools? There is a list here, and we are running shortage of time. Slowly we are moving to the end. Skill development clubs and activities are there. In every CBSE school, there is skill development club, SDC, and activities. You must be knowing about robotics, like that. SD clubs are established and SD activities are conducted. Atal Lab, you must be Atal Tinker Lab, you must be knowing about it. Conducted to foster a culture of practical learning. Learning without practical activities is not true learning. There is something called Robotics Club. Students learn programming, engineering, and robotics via hands-on projects. Direct and experiential learning is always given. Development of debate and public speaking skills through debate and public speaking groups. Then art and craft clubs to promote creativity and artistic skills. Then sports and fitness clubs to promote physical fitness and teamwork. Then there are community service clubs through which social activities, creative activities, constructive activities are done by the students to enhance the quality of community life. By that, they also come to know what are the communities and how we need to be a part of community. These are called community communication skills. How I need to be a part of community and how I should be able to contribute for the overall development of community, like that. And all the social skills leadership qualities can also be enhanced. So these clubs and activities are not only enjoyable for students, but also contribute significantly to their overall development. Then CBSE skill education framework, I'm giving you how the entire skill education program is going on. So it is a comprehensive skill education framework integrating skill development to the mainstream. So there is something called, in the first stage, we have curriculum integration. Means what? Skill-based learning is integrated into already existing regular curriculum. Like for example, how you have 6th skill subject along with the existing 5 non-skill based subjects. Then teacher training. The teachers of CBSE schools are also given training on how to integrate vocational education, how to have skill development programs, how to evaluate, how to develop curriculum, how to transact curriculum. So all these things are trained for teachers who are training in CBSE schools. Assessment and certification. There will be a separate board for it. Or as a matter of internal assessment itself, the teachers are trained on the different modes, different methods and approaches of developing tools and techniques of evaluation, techniques and tools. Then CBSE schools can develop collaborative MOUs with other industries. I have seen some of the schools even in Mysore like that. Then skill development through information technology, you know all these things, equipping students with the digital literacy and IT skills. Digital literacy means, you know, all soft skills related to application of computer software. Then digital learning resources provides a digital learning resources, including e-books, multimedia content, and online tutorials to enhance IT related skills. Then coding and programming. Today, a man without coding and programming skills is, you know, jobless, especially in IT industry. So encourages coding and programming abilities through a variety of projects, such as the Hour of Code program, which exposes students to coding in a fun and participatory way. So ICT curriculum is always there, of course. Collaborations and partnerships are developed by CBSE schools. Active collaboration with government bodies, industries, and non-profit NGOs, industry-relevant curriculum is developed. Internships are made and workshops are organized. Okay, skill certification is done by either the school or by the trained organizations or industry-based people. Then financial support is also given to students after their completion of the course. Then student assessment and feedback mechanisms are always there. And of course, assessment is continuously done. Feedback is given, constructive and restructuring feedback is given. And their performance after the course is always monitored. And finally, even parents are involved to take care of the training that is given to their children and how they can support for their children to have an entrepreneurship skill later to establish their own industries. Then encouraging the encouragement of enterprise and the startup culture. You know, everybody should become an employee of self, decision making, self-employer. We need to have a startup. See, even after retirement, people will have a startup. For example, a teacher who worked as a headmaster, or he can become a consultant for having educational entrepreneurship. So I can start my own company that is called, say, I can give a service. I can be a service provider. Okay, so that I can have consultancy services. I can help my own students to establish schools. I can help them to recruit good teachers. I can analyze the teaching of teachers and understand what are their problems and help them to overcome their problems. Then I can evaluate the performance of headmasters or heads of the institution. Like that, I can come up with my own company called consultancy company. That is what internship course is there. So startup means that. So, like that, there are many things. Mentorship, students get to communicate with experience entrepreneurship. So mentors means, some 10 students are allotted to a mentor who works as a chairperson of a company. They all will go and take the mentoring. They are called mentorees and mentor. So for example, there is an executive head who is also called mentor of a particular company. So I have started a company as a startup. Now I need to take some suggestions from my mentor, who is nothing but a boss who is heading another institute of a national standard, like that. Fine. Now you can see a list of skill subjects of class 6th to 8th. 6th, 7th and 8th. Artificial intelligence, beauty and wellness. Now these are all the courses which are being offered in some schools. Not necessarily all these. Some 5 or 6 courses may be offered depending on the economic conditions of the school and the urge or the need of the students and parents. Artificial intelligence is drawing more of appreciation as well as attention. Beauty and wellness, you may not believe, a woman or a girl or men, even whoever it is, he or she will undergo 3 months or 6 months of course, beautician course. They earn more money than other sectors, you see. They are earning more money than a software engineer in a well-established international global company. So design thinking and innovation, thinking about the creative designing, financial literacy, how to use financial people with financial literacy, they can become the advisors of investment. Handicrafts, IT, marketing and commercial applications, mass media, being a media literate. Now this is a wonderful area these days. I've been giving career counseling. You see, one of my students of counseling, he was admitted to an engineering college. He left the college after 3 years, losing interest in mechanical engineering. He said, I have got a lot of interest in media, mass media. He did his graduation course in visual media, master graduation in visual media. Then he moved to Canada. He did another course in Hamburg University in Toronto. Now he has become a leading media producer there, earning a lot of money, and he has become a very famous director. So like that, a boy who was learning something in engineering college, living that and becoming a well-versed person in a different country, becoming a leader, becoming a leading director there means something wonderful. Then travel and tourism, coding, data sciences. It is only for class 8th only, data science. It may be a little difficult. Augmented reality or virtual reality, digital citizenship, life cycle of medicines and vaccination or vaccines. Like that, there are so many. You can see pottery, then block printing, food preservation, baking, herbal heritage, khadi, mask making, mass media, and then Kashmiri embroidery, rockets, satellites, all these things, rocket technology, for example. Some points of skill modules in the school management, implemented. These are all some points. Skill module means how the skill has been transacted. What is a course module? The skill modules are of 12 to 15 hours duration. 12 to 15 hours totally. 70% of the time duration must be devoted to hands-on activities and 30% for the theory. So as per the course module, nearly 65 to 70% should be on hands-on experience. Theory should be only 30%. And the schools can use the bagless days. The students need not bring bags on that particular day. And that is totally related to skill enhancement. Then schools can also explore to have a regular period, everyday period or weekly 1 or 2 days, something like that. So they are free to opt any kind of skill modules for 8th, 6th, 7th standard. Like that, there are many things which you can understand if you copy this particular website, you can refer all these things. Fine. All schools affiliated to CBSE are requested to select a few skill modules which can be conveniently offered from academic session 23-24. So since last year, more or less it has been made compulsory or mandatory, like that. Fine. Then steps taken by the government to boost skill-based education under NEP. Of course, Skill India Mission is taking care of these things. Then we have all the vocationalization of school education under the centrally sponsored scheme called Samagra Shikshana Yojana. Like that, government has its own anchoring on to control and regulate the quality standards and evaluate objectively so that certification is done as per the National Skill Development Corporation standards. So all these things are always very easy. You can understand what has been taught like that. We are slowly coming to the end of this. And there are something called employability skill modules. And we have already discussed about MSTE and NSEs. And you can see all these skill modules, which are available for middle school level. Middle school means 6th, 7th, and 8th. So the almost the same skills which just now we discussed about it. Now these are the skills which are meant for middle school level. And these are the skills which are meant for 9th and 10th standard. Okay, these skills are little, upgraded or updated. On the left hand, we have got course name, and on the right hand, we have the sectors in the jobs. So retail marketing, information technology, security. You can start your own security agency. Okay, like that. Then automotive, then introduction to financial markets. All these things are the different courses, course titles. Beauty and wellness, agriculture, food production, front office operations, banking and insurance, marketing and sales, healthcare management, apparels, production, service and marketing, multimedia, multi-skill foundation course, multiple abilities, handling different situations together. So multi-skill application, artificial intelligence. So these are the skills which are developed into modules at the 9th and 10th standard. Even after that, there are so many other skills even at PU level. So skill development in HEIs, short-term courses which are at higher level, means university level courses have been merged with these areas, artificial intelligence and machine learning, AI with robotics, then Internet of Things, IoT, you must be knowing about IoT Academy, industrial IoT and smart cities, data science and analytics. Now, analytics is gaining a lot of importance these days. Most of the BCom and MCom students or even MBA students, they are going for business analytics, financial analytics. A man with analytics graduation today has no fear about his life. Then cloud computing is gaining lot of appreciation as well as demand. Virtual reality and augmented reality and extended reality. Cyber security, it is also very, very good. Okay, digital forensics. See, AI has been used even in forensics today. Very accurately, the outcome or the reports are coming up. So in a very short period, accurate to almost to the nearest, okay, that has been possible as a magic today. Then 5G connectivity, now it is moving to 6G and 7G. Digital fluency and digital transformation, industrial automation and robotics process automation, electronic systems design, okay, then electronic manufacturing and basic coding and see, these are the titles of the areas of courses which are recommended at higher level of education. SD in HEIs, short-term courses, focused areas. I can just read it out. 3D printing, electrician, then mobile communication, digital marketing, health and wellness, financial technology, fintech, digital payments, blockchain technology, digital currencies. Digital currencies means you must be knowing about Bitcoin or something like that. People are having that kind of knowledge and application so that they're becoming rich, and they're also losing money these days. Holistic health management, wellness, all these things. Okay, yogic sciences,